Hello, friends. This is film critic Awan from Cineblues, and today I'm pleased to have Mr. Arif Zakaria, an actor par excellence, on our show. Welcome, sir, to our show.
Yeah, hi.
And we also have our co-host for today, Farhad Dalal, and we will be engaging with a deep conversation with Mr. Zakaria, and I hope you will enjoy it because there will be a lot of insights I'm sure that sir will share with us. So, sir, please tell me first, you have been in the industry from a long time, from the past 25 years. In fact, your first film, Darmiyan, where you did the role of a hermaphrodite. It came 25 years back in 1997, and you won a nomination for that. So during the past 25 years, you have straddled the various platforms, starting from film serials. I mean, they meant 25 years, it was with respect to Darmiyan, but of course, you did TV serials much before that. So you have straddled TV shows, then films, and now web series. So how has been the experience, sir?
The experience has been good. I was happy doing what I really liked from the beginning. That's how it all started. And I started my career on television and on Doordarshan actually. And I got into it very early in today's parlance, when I was a student in Sydenham College in Mumbai.
Yeah.
And I got our theatre group actually got picked up for a show called Chunauti, which used to come on TV.
Yeah.
So we were active doing good, bad, funny theatre in Sydenham, and accidentally I got this opportunity, I would say. And that set the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was only Doordarshan. And then, of course, the advent of all these other platforms like Z came up. I was a part of Campus on Z, which was the flagship show of ZTV.
Yes, Campus, yeah.
So the journey has been good. I mean, essentially, I'm doing what I like doing. I do what I'm supposed to do. It is to a large extent irrelevant where I do, whether it is theatre, whether it is television, whether it is cinema. Broadly, you still have to do what you're supposed to do. You still have to understand the medium and perform. That is essentially what every actor goes through. So I don't look at all the three mediums in the last 25 years as something unique or eye-popping. Of course, technology has changed now.
Yes.
So that is interesting to watch and observe around. We've become more digital.
Right.
Everything is smaller, sharper, and everything is very convenient for the actor, I would say, as opposed to what it was maybe 25, 30 years ago. So it's good. All that is very good. You imbibe all that in your creative journey, at least as far as directors go. And if you can finally communicate to the audience using all these devices, it's good. Mm-hmm. Why not?
Fantastic.
So the journey has been good, but I don't look at it like some major shift in my attitude towards my profession because of these diverse platforms which are mushrooming.
Right. So there is no doubt that you are an immensely talented actor, and your body of work, considering all your TV shows, right from Chunauti to Karamyud to Arzu, and then going to films like Darmiyan, like films like 1947 Earth, and now some web series that we have been doing. Shurveer was the last I saw. So do you think that Arif Zakaria as an actor, he is underrated?
They use the word underrated for every actor now, I think. Somebody who is... Yeah, I read an interview about some mainstream actor and they use the word underrated.
Yeah.
I think underrated today is used for actors who are not visible apart from their work. See, I've been blessed with all these opportunities.
Yeah.
And today we live in this whole era of hyper visibility. So if you're not seen for 4 or 5 months on any platform, if I don't like Farhad Dalal's interview 5 times, he might assume I'm dead. That's the that's the era we live in. So I'm blessed to have had opportunities. Whether I'm underutilized, I don't know how to put that word in perspective. People use that and tell me a lot. But I don't know how to define it and whether it is correct in the context of what you're trying to say.
Right.
Whether underutilized means I haven't done some big spectacular films which have, which are in your face in the publicity, which
Right.
has my mugshot. But I've been active working at a certain level in my life.
Right.
So I don't think I wear the crown of being underutilized that comfortably. But
Right.
if you're choosing to use that word to describe me, I'm my guest. I don't know whether it should make me happy or make me sad. I don't know.
Yeah, that is being like putting things in the right perspective, of course.
I
So
think
I'll take
that's
you
my take.
right. Yeah. I'll take you a little back towards 90s, late 90s, where you did your first film, Dharmiya. And what I had heard and what I had read in the couple of articles, that it was just a one scene role for you initially, but ultimately it became such important and relevant part in Dharmiya. So can you tell about the experience of how it actually bloomed into a fully blown role, and you even got a nomination for the best debutant?
So I had met the late Kalpana Lajmi,
Right.
and I did a TV show with her on Star Plus, which was very new and young then, English, called The Dawn, DAWN Dawn.
Okay.
And we shot that in Assam. It was loosely based on Leo Tolstoy's book Resurrection. So Kalpana and Bhupen Hazarika.
Okay.
They both are not amongst us. So they had adapted this book, and Didi had given them an approval for an English TV show. I think it's one of the first English. I think my memory serves me right. I think it's before Mouthful of Sky or after, I don't recall. So I collaborated and worked in the lead role in The Dawn with Kalpana.
Okay.
And somewhere in the middle of the shooting, or maybe before that, she gave me a script she was putting together, Dharmiya. There was another actor doing the role. And she offered me the brother's part, which was a 1 or 2 scene part. I said, okay, I hadn't done any film, and I was not aspiring to be in the movies. I was happy just acting anywhere at that point of time.
Right.
And we finished the show, and I keep in touch with Kalpana. And suddenly one day I get a call from her that, why don't you come and audition for this lead role?
Okay.
And since I was aware of the script, I knew pretty much what the character was all about. So I land up, and I had my little, very clumsy audition at Kiran Kher's house in Jubu.
Okay.
But,
okay.
Yeah, she was playing my mother. She played the central
character.
So they asked me to read a few scenes and enact it out in front of the camera. And she was there, her direction team was there. And that's what it was. And then she called the next day and saying, no, now I've decided you're doing the part because you kind of look vulnerable and you kind of mixed and matched what I wanted in the part, because maybe some other actors backed off. And that's how it happened. And then I had this good journey with her on the film. In fact, with Kalpana, Kiran Kher, and the late Simple Kapadia also, who was her associate.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Did the costume part, is it? The costumes?
Yeah, she was costume, and she also gets the credit for being an associate director in Dharmiya. Very few people know that. It's in the titles. And Bhupen Hazarika. So it was good. I enjoyed the whole process for about a year and a half after that. We had great talents working on the show. Santosh Shivan shot it. There was Tabu, there was Shahbaz Khan, there was a lot of other NSD actors in the film. And Kalpana had put a good team together to shoot the film. And we just shot it all over Mumbai. And that's it. That's what it was. And I just continued doing television. I thought this is a one-off thing. And because Kalpana was very good and she kind of understood me as an actor, I think, having worked on the TV show with her. And that's how it all fell into place, obviously.
Great. Thank you.
That's my short and sweet journey with Dharmiya, with Kalpana. I credit Kalpana, in fact, for launching me. She was my godmother, if I can use the word, not godfather.
Okay.
In a way, because she gave me my first film debut.
Yeah, thank you for taking us through those sweet memories. So for Dance Like a Man, which I think came during 2004, 2004 type.
Yeah, 2004.
You actually learned Bharatnatyam. So how difficult was it for you to pick up dance?
Yeah, it was. Again, Dance Like a Man happened because of Pamela Rooks and Dolly Thakur, who was the casting agent there.
Yeah.
And she called me over and asked me to perform a few scenes with Pamela Rooks, who's again passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that's how I got Dance Like a Man. But the prerogative was that I have to learn classical dance. It was based on Mahesh Dattani's play Dance Like a Man.
Right.
And it was the obvious thing to do because you can't play a dancer without knowing how to dance. So I picked it up and I learned it here for about a few months before the shoot. And Deepak Mazumdar, who's a Bharatanatyam dancer, I learned it in his Gurukul, very close to my house in Khar.
Okay.
And I used to go and learn, and I just sort of very instinctively learned it and gave it a certain physicality because 6 months is too short to learn such an intricate dance form.
Right.
And I was paired with Shobana, and Shobana was very kind enough to then choreograph the piece and send me. And then I think she told me just learn the pieces I have choreographed. So in that physical frame, just pick up those pieces and don't go much deeper into it. So that helped a lot.
Okay.
So then I just mugged, how we mug the texts to remember it. So I mugged it physically, and I just did those relevant physical mudras which were there in the film.
Right. Right.
And that's how it was. So it was good. It was interesting. It was unique, and it was very memorable, I think.
Right.
And we shot
Very
that in Bangalore 1 month.
Yeah.
That's how it was. That's the story of Dance Like a Man. Thanks to Pamela Roots.
Thanks. Thank you. Farhad, I give my mic to you.
So thank you so much, Awan, for having me also. And I have a few questions as well for Arif sir. And one of them is that you've been in the industry for a very long time now. And I had two questions related to this. That what is your everyday motivation to, keep on working? And if there are any regrets in your career, you have any regrets about some roles that either were missed out or there was some decision making that didn't go well during the course of your career?
Motivation, first I'll answer your first question. Motivation, that's a good question actually. I think it's a very brutal line. I don't want to sound cynical. I've worked with a lot of people, but at the end of the day, it's a brutal line to the kind of roles you get, the kind of roles you say yes to, the kind of roles you say no to. And it's also very heartbreaking because apart from a very few selected actors, the others have to go through a certain grind to prove their mettle time and again. And I don't talk about myself, but a lot of actors who are established, I think, go through that all the time. So the motivation every day is, I think, self-belief, primarily, a certain amount of confidence, and a certain passion. These are the classic cliches, but you have to dig deep and use these three terms to find how day opens up or how your next meeting with a film director opens up. So self-belief is very important. Confidence is very important. And you need to be passionate about it. You need to be, at the end of the day, even if you get rejection slip, which all actors get a lot of rejection slips, barring a few, you still have to be driven that, no, this is what I'm going to do. And this is what makes me happy. This is what drives me and has driven me for so long through ups and downs of the business. So I think if you ask me, I would park my whole career in these three terms or these three adjectives, really. Second is, your question was, I mean, again, I'm blessed also to a large extent because of the work I've done. And like, you're calling me because probably you've seen me in some work which hopefully is unique. So that is a good point also, that you spread yourself thin perhaps, or spread yourself too. As a consequence, people your work and interact and call you. So I think you're always at the cusp of good fortune and your self-belief, honestly. And no actor worth his or her salt will ever tell you there is a certain amount of destiny involved. There is a certain amount of X factor involved in how you get great roles and how a certain performance translates into something else.
Right.
So I think I've answered the question correctly. Missing?
Yeah, sure. No, not missing anything.
So taking Farhad's question a bit, yeah, Taking for Farhad's question a bit forward, what exactly drives your choices of different roles that comes your way? What exactly? Because you have done a varied kind of roles, right? It's positive and negative. We'll come to that
I
part also,
think
but yeah.
I mean, see, I could do a small part, but I think the smartness of the director.
Yeah.
If the director, I feel intuitively, is well versed with his subject matter, and I feel he has a complete grasp of what he's trying to convey through the film, then I say yes to the project. It's as simple as that. Of course, various other issues also at stake when you say yes to a role. I think it is inherently the integrity of the director, the smartness of the director. Because I think nothing great comes out of the director is not a step ahead of everybody involved in the project.
Right.
You could have a great script. The director is not in, his vision is not clear. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know where to place you, even if the part is small. That experience tells me that. So I think it's essentially the camaraderie and the instinctive feel I form with the director really decides what I do. Whether it could be a 5 scene role, whether it could be a major role, whether it could be a supporting role, so on and so forth. But the director has to be in sync, and I have to feel comfortable instinctively. You have a first meeting or second meeting with the director. You can't really decide how his skill set is, in spite of all the past work he or she has done.
Yeah.
But there has to be a smartness coming out, which I think makes me decide, really.
So was it the smartness of Meghna Gulzar which attracted you to do that unconventional part in Raazi? Because that role can be viewed like as two sides of the same coin, like good and bad, right? Like for some people, they would view the character as a negative one because he's all the time spying on Alia Bhatt's character. And on the other side, he's loyal to his master. So, it was a kind of dichotomy. And what exactly attracted you to play that?
I think so. I had read the book written by Harinder Sikka.
Yeah, Sehmat, right?
Who had produced a film of mine, Nanak Shah Fakir. It was a big film based on the biopic of Guru Nanak. If you see that, Nanak Shah Fakir was a film I featured in.
Yeah.
So I thought the story was very good. That the whole Alia Bhatt's character placed in Pakistan, and it was a very different take on patriotism.
Right.
It was a woman's take on patriotism, and it wasn't like browbeating and screaming from rooftops trying to prove your love for the land. Right. And the love for the land juxtaposed that how she's caught up in that family, which also she has to protect and honor. Right. So I think the story was very, very well edged, and I remember also the story, how she's going to place my character, how she's going to treat the subject matter.
Yeah.
So I think, yes, somewhere I felt warm, somewhere I felt protected by how the director will journey with me on film. That's basically what it was. And then it came out well. She also handled it smartly. It was also edited well. It appeared at places where it should be to create that tempo in the storyline. So, at the end of the day, you are thankful that the director handled it well and it worked in the final film also. But the story essentially was very good, I thought. It was very unique and very well placed.
Right. That is why it is still so vividly remembered and still so haunting till date. And so you come from a very illustrious family of politicians, like your uncle, I think Arif Zakaria he was in INC. Your brother is a INC politician as well. Your cousin also is an American journalist. So did you have any inclination towards politics?
I think all the intelligence and all has gone there. No, I don't have any interest. I'm curious, but I don't have any interest in how we understand politics today as to fight an election or hold public office, if that's what your question is. No, I don't think I have those interests. Yeah, I don't think I have.
Okay, but you played Pandit Nehru in one of your
yes.
The 1962 web series, right? So
and I also played Nehru in a Marathi web show Hutatma, which was very popular. Nobody watches that. Z5, it's still running. Watch it, Hutatma.
Okay, thank you for
It's a
recommending.
brilliant story.
Yeah.
In Marathi, where I played Nehru, I think for the first time, and with Mr. Mahesh Manjrekar, I played it for the second time. War on the Hills. Yeah.
Yeah. So
What
was
was
it?
the question about playing Nehru?
No, not exactly Nehru, but playing a politician. Like, did it have kind of fulfill your some inner desire of playing a politician, and that too so prominent politician like Nehru? Did you have any inner desire to play that kind of a role?
Enter politics after playing Nehru? Is that what your question is?
No. My question is like some inner desire got fulfilled when you played a politician, important politician like Nehru, because you come from an illustrious family of politicians. कुछ तो linkage रहेगा इस
No,
तरह
that,
का.
that doesn't. Where you come from doesn't determine the roles you play. I played like I did Vikram Bhatt's Haunted 3D, like the main villain.
Yeah, right.
That doesn't mean there is any. Yeah, so that didn't mean that because I come, I don't play negative roles. That is the last criteria. If the role is good, whether it's a negative or positive role, I tend to just gravitate towards it and do it. But yeah, it's always good to play these slightly larger than life characters. Like I've played Gandhi on stage
Yes, right.
about 2 years ago. Yeah, so so I like playing these big historical characters which have a framework of who they are, and you try and imbibe them and their physicality, perhaps their ideology in a small way.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting, I would say, to play these larger than life characters, like these political figures, historical leaders. It's challenging, but where I come from doesn't determine anything about my choice. I've done a lot of bad guy roles also, so that should speak or answer your question.
Yeah. Okay.
I had one question though. I had one question. That are you very critical of your work when you watch it on screen? And if so, which is that one performance that you would just dismiss of yours, saying that no, I didn't like my performance, but there was a lot of scope of improvement in that. Which would that performance be?
See, if you look back at your work, you tend to find faults all the time because I could have shot a film 1 year ago, and I'm watching it now. My sensibility has changed. My idea of understanding the material changes perhaps more after you do it. You understand the material more. That's the irony of life. So yeah, I could be critical of the work I have done, but I think all the roles which I later on see, I feel I could have done more. That's human nature actually. Like you write a piece as a journalist, if you revisit that after a year, you'd feel, oh, you could have layered it more. You could have used better language. You could have expressed your thought much better than what you did then. So that is constantly the struggle we all go through when we go back and view our work. And if we are a little sensitive or we understand processes, it hurts a little more. You know what I'm saying? So that goes for us artists also. When you look back, oh, you could have done that more. Something affected you that day while doing that scene. Right. Something shouldn't have affected you, or you could have perhaps been more honest here, or perhaps done much more there. That battle constantly goes on, and that is good in a way. It keeps you more alive and keeps you more. You put that into your experience bag, and when you're working next time, you know that if I view it later, it's going to look bad. So you might as well be right there on the ball now, so it doesn't look very bad later on.
Sure.
That's what I feel. I mean, honestly.
But there's not this one performance that you totally did not like of yours.
Don't like them.
Anyone?
No, I mean, see, also cinema acting, people it's a complicated process. I feel there are combination of so many factors. So maybe the question should be the performances I like. I was surprised that how it turned out like that, because they could have been enhanced with smart editing, with music, with effects, so on and so forth. So you know how it is. It's the other way around. If I flip the debate and I have to tell you that actually you think I look good there, but actually I didn't do anything. Like I give you the example of Haunted 3D. Yeah. Vikram Bhatt's film. It became very popular after release, India's first 3D. I didn't do anything, but I just followed his advice. Even they were shooting in 3D and the two lenses and all. So I didn't know what to do. I remember him telling me that just follow what I'm saying. And people who have seen it appreciate it. "Arey, wo acha tha," played a ghost and played a villain, But honestly, I just did. I just followed what he told me to do. And I find that easier. Harping back to what I told you earlier, if directors are in sync, they're smarter and they know what they want of you. I like those kind of directors. So then I'm just honing my experience a little and honing my craft a little to suit their convenience. And he's the boss here. He knows a lot more than I know about the text, about the technicality, about the lighting, or about what he wants me to do. So little performances like this have also been enhanced because they tend to look out good after you finish shooting it. So I think all performances, when you look back, you feel you could have done much better. That's the brutality of the medium, the theater and cinema, and performing artists. You could always feel you could have done much better, because when you view it, your sensibility has changed towards yourself. And I know myself better now as opposed to what I was 10 years ago or 5 years ago. Like I could now, when I look at Dance Like a Man, I think I should have probably learned dancing a little better, so my lines could have looked much better. But those are all thoughts in hindsight. In retrospect, we are all smarter, as the saying goes.
Right. Thank you for such an elaborative answer, sir. And you explained so beautifully about Haunted 3D and also director. So if I have to ask you, like, your top 3 picks of director, your top 3 favorite directors, not to undermine the other directors whom you have worked, but when it comes to a beautiful association between an actor and a director, your top 3 favorites.
That's a tough one. See, because my assessment of a director is related to the material on hand, which I have been a part of.
Okay.
But so most people give that listing based on the emotional connect they have. So I think the person who gave me the first break on television, unfortunately, Sanjeev Bhattacharya, he's also not there with us anymore.
Chunoti?
He was Sanjeev Bhattacharya. He's passed away years ago.
Yeah.
I started my career when I was a student with him. So I used to have an emotional bond with him because he gives you a first break. Kalpana gave me my first break with Darmiyan.
Yeah.
Then, I don't have any top 3 all-time list, but at that moment, related to that material, I connected well with them. Really, it's as simple as that. So I don't have a Hall of Fame that these are the top 3 and they will last forever.
Right.
But that's it doesn't work like that, knowing the medium. So I could have a good bond with the directors during the making of the film.
Right.
But so then that emotional bond you form, it kind of resonates for a long time.
Correct.
Till the next director comes and he overpowers your sensibility.
Yeah. So personally, I would recommend our audience to watch one of my favorite film and a very deeply affecting film, Ahan.
Yes.
It's a film on Down syndrome. Yeah. I like that film. And what would you recommend from your side? What would you recommend our audience to watch? Any of your film, which is your personal favorite, where you have acted?
Ahan again, just to stop a little talk. Ahan again, he came with the subject of money to put it together, but the story was so good and endearing about this man with Down syndrome.
Right.
Yeah, and he had no money to shoot the film. We shot it all over Bombay, and he shot it in his friends' houses, and but he had written it very sweetly.
Yes.
It formed very warm, emotional when you read it. That's why I said yes to it without even And he was very confident that I'll make it, even if I don't have money. I will shoot. I'll beg, borrow, steal, and I will complete the film. Nikhil Filmani.
Right.
And I'm lucky. I'm fortunate. I said yes to it. We shot it through a lot of artists' laborious procedure because there was no money. Also, the boy he cast was an actual boy with Down syndrome.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so shooting with him also was very challenging. But I'm glad in the end it all worked together.
Yes.
He waited a little for the film, and then it got a little platform whereby people could view it. So again, as I was saying earlier, because I connected with him as a director, I thought he knew it so well. He was so confident, so smart about the written material. I just went with the flow, and mercifully it fell into place.
Right.
So which, say, 4 films of mine will I recommend? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, in backwards, yeah, Ahan, Nanaksha Fakir.
Okay.
Haunted 3D, if you like horror films. It's a quintessential horror film. Dance Like a Man. Darmiya, I don't know where you can watch because I don't know where it is. And Raazi, of course, you know.
Raazi, yes.
Then which other films? I'm going backwards and recommending.
Right.
So all these are there. I mean, you know, you can watch all these. I had a good interesting part in Leela, Deepa Mehta's web show about 3 years ago.
Uma Qureshi started.
Yeah,
right?
also running on Netflix. I enjoyed the whole process. Yeah. I played this extreme, right-wing idealistic who propagates his philosophy in the film.
Right.
So these are all interesting projects with interesting parts. So it's all there. You know, I hope people can watch it because now visibility is so strong.
Right.
You could have done so many projects, and people will still ask you, "Aap dikhe nahi yaar bahut samay se." As I told you earlier, because it's the question of hyper visibility.
Yeah.
You have to be constantly in the public glare for people to acknowledge you. I think that's which other film. My Name is Khan had a very interesting part.
I remember that. Yeah, you played a very
dynamic parts in these films, if I remember right. So all these are there, and if you can watch them and enjoy them, good enough. Yeah. What else can you do?
I think even 420 IPC, that was also.
Yeah. Sorry, see, Manish Gupta's film, 420 IPC, had an all look. He wanted a new look. Again, his written material, thanks for raking it up. I keep forgetting it. IPC 420, yeah, Manish he was so clear with the concept. He was so a step ahead of the subject, and as an actor, he knew the look he wanted. He knew what he wanted me to do. He knew how to shoot that particular sequence. And the character was, he was actually a bad man, which is revealed in the end. But he wanted it so subtle that nobody doubted it right till the end when it's revealed in the court.
Right.
Again, that was another film I really enjoyed, primarily because Manish was a step ahead. So I don't have to do anything if the director is smarter than you, has a certain clarity about the subject, and just knows very clearly what he has to do. Yeah, that again is very, very memorable. Yeah, I would rate IP 220 also.
Yeah. And it was lovely talking to you, getting to know your journey, and getting to know all these wide variety of films that you have done and what you have accomplished so far till date. And we wish you all the very best, and also advance birthday wishes for you. You have a birthday on the 11th of November. Yeah. And
thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. And thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Lovely to have you on our show.
Lovely interacting with you.
My pleasure.